Sealed-only journeys are nothing new. You know the gist. I can't buy singles, trade cards, or use ones I already have. Going from 3 structure decks, we'll be building the most competitive deck possible. Along the way, we'll be able to use other structure decks, tins, packs, prizes, to build a deck of diabolical darkness for duelists to compete against. Most duels will be online. As our strength grows, we will tackle some safe in-person events. This is Sealed Only, Into Darkness, $40 a week. Alright, welcome back to The Lair. This is your honorary Yu-Gi-Oh! Stepdad asking you to come throw the pigskin in the backyard with me, sport. We're opening up 2 Shaddoll structure decks today on our budget of $40. Each was $20. Next week we'll probably get the third. Last week we performed well, although we didn't really get to duel against anything too threatening. This week I hope to change that and truly put this deck to the test. There's a lot of really good things in this structure deck. You know, some staples we need. I think this is going to take us in the right directions. You know, the Shaddolls are just so powerful. It'll actually give us a win con besides Lair Go Burr. You know, Winda is a hell of a card. So let's go ahead and open this up. Let me set this stuff to the side. We'll open up one of these structure decks and go through the cards really quickly. Oh man, Shekinaga. Alright, so let's check out what is inside this bad boy. Alright, we got a El Shaddoll Grista, the Fire Fusion. El Shaddoll App Cologne. Man, this is going to be good. We'll definitely be playing 3 once we get our third, but such good start to start out with. Construct. Absolute staple. This is a great card as well. Chad Shaddoll Gios. We got Rishadol Windy, staple as well. Nel Shaddoll Aerial. This is a great card for banishing 3 in the opponent's graveyard. A lot of graveyard decks right now, so that'll come into play. We got Resh Shaddoll Incarnation. Another amazing trap. El Shaddoll Winda, we're definitely going to be going for this in the deck, locking the opponent out of special summoning. Insta-win. El Shaddoll Shek. Oh man, I'm a Trains player. This brings me back. Shaddoll Fusion. And the super rare. We got Shaddoll Falco. Shaddoll Hedgehog. Shaddoll Squamata. Dragon. Beast. Hound, Zephyrnaga, Zephyrcore, Blackluster Soldier. That's kind of cool. That would be nice to maybe put in the deck. I don't know if we'll do that, but that would be funny to summon that. Lava Golem, what an amazing side deck card. Bro, is that a misprint? Is that a miscut? We got Dad. I'm the stepdad, all right? We're kicking you out of the picture. She's mine now. Fairy Tale Sleeper. Perform Age Trick Clown, that's great. Armageddon Knight, oh man. Alright, that's great, we get that in here. Fearless, okay, this might be the light target we play in the deck, because it will summon itself. We don't really have any links to go into, I guess, besides the link that's in this deck. But, you know, could come up later, so we'll consider it. Electromagnetic Turtle. Whew. Prevent us from getting OTK'd there. Mathematician, that's a good card. Another Curry Bandit added to our collection of Curry Bandits. Pero Saperis. That's a cool card too. Curse of the Shadow Prison. El Shaddoll Fusion, the quick play fusion card, amazing. Nef Shaddoll Shaddoll Fusion. Oh man, we did it, boys. Super Poly. In combination with Lair of Darkness, this card is going to come up a ton. I think it is such an amazing counter, not only just against the meta, but applies to our deck as well. You know, all monsters become dark. We don't have the Predaplant fusion, but we can make the Shaddoll fusions with this. So this is amazing, especially even at 2. Once we get the 3rd, we'll definitely be playing 3 of that. Instant fusion, another good card. Oh wow, Allure again. We might continue to play this too. I'm not so sure. We'll think about it. Foolish Burial, staple. Living Fossil, that's kind of cool too. Pot of Avarice. Oh my god, I forgot this was in here. Amazing. Okay, that's kind of cool. We'll think about that as well. It could be useful. I don't know how often that's going to come up for us to actually shuffle our graveyard back. Twin Twisters, staple card. We're definitely putting this in the side. If we went up against a, you know, back row deck right now with our list, we would have a very tough time. So this will come in handy against that matchup. We got a Shaddoll Core. Sinister Shadow Games. This is definitely one of the other cards that we've been looking for in comboing with our Lilith. Amazing, can just access our Shaddoll cards immediately. It's kind of a starter card of the deck, actually. We got Puru Shaddoll Aeon, pretty great. Lost Wind, another great trap. Oh man, we might main deck this as well. This is a great card. It recurs itself back, so it can kind of help us in like grind game, managing resources. Unending Nightmare, another back row kind of card. Not once per turn, that's amazing. Necrofusion, probably won't play that. Subterror Succession, that's cool. Alright, cool. So we got the rest of the extra deck cards in here. The Analealtilius, El Shaddoll Wendigo, and then the Shaddoll Construct. Yeah, don't fill out your deck list incorrectly, kids. Alright, so we're going to go take a look at this in the layer, at the cards that we got, and we're going to build something, and I'll show it for you in just a second. Be right back. Alright, so we've spent some time with the list, and I think we have something that's fairly viable. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. We'll talk about the changes and where I think we're going to go with it. So starting off, of course, we have the 3 Layer of Darkness, the 3 Lilith Lady of Lament, 3 Arima to search out Layer of Darkness, draw us a card, and also get us to our now 1 of Diabolical. So we're running the 10-card layer package. I think it's perfect for consistency reasons. Lilith interacts with a lot of things in the deck, like the Shaddoll portion. I think this is going to work really well going forward. I might not actually ever change this, but we'll see how that turns out. So onto the Shaddolls. 2 Re-Shaddoll Wendy, 2 Shaddoll Squamata. You know, we only opened to the 2 structure decks, so, you know, we're running these, like, kind of core 4, and we're also running along the side of those, the 2 Shaddoll Beast. So, you know, these are kind of like some of our main 6 that we want to get in circulation. I'm using the Shaddoll portion as, like, kind of a draw engine in the deck, also to get us to some better negations. Also running 2 Shaddoll Hedgehog. This can get us to our Shaddoll Fusion cards, and it's not bad to send to at least, like, search us a Wendy, things like that. The 1 Shaddoll Dragon to pop back row. The Nail Shaddoll Aerial. This is for, you know, graveyard-centric decks. We can, like, banish things in the graveyard. Very, very good card in tandem with our trap card. So I really like that. And then finally for the Shaddolls are 1 of Chad Shaddoll Kios, the light target for Construct. We're also running the 1 Foolish Burial as kind of like a starter utility card. We can even send Diabolos with this, so, you know, I like this card a lot. The Shaddoll Fusion, we're just running 1, and we're also running 2 El Shaddoll Fusion, as long as 2 Super Poly. So this is amazing. With our Layer of Darkness, it'll make all of our opponent's monsters dark. Therefore, we can Super Poly their monsters on their turn, going into our window, preventing them from special summoning. So I really, really like that. Also can't be responded to, so that's amazing. So into our traps, we have the 2 Sinister Shadow Games. I can't wait to get a 3rd one. I think this is one of the better traps in the deck. It just turns all of the Shaddoll monsters into utility cards. Also allows us to flip them, turning them into, like, semi-disruptions. The 1 Resh Shaddoll Incarnation. This can be be kind of used in combo with Construct, Windy, and Beast to draw 2 on our opponent's turn and do some really cool things, you know, just draw 2 combos, as well as its Summon from Grave effect is not bad. With Lilith, we can reveal these 3, you know, summon back a Windy, get its effect again, that kind of thing, so like this card a lot. Also playing 3 Allure. We have tons of dark targets in the deck. I can't recall exactly how many, but we have enough to keep this live, and we really need the draw power, so definitely playing those 3 is nice. Also playing the 1 Pot of Avarice. We'll be able to draw into this, you know, via Beast, Arima, Allure. Like, we have many ways to draw into it, but we need to recycle our graveyard because we're running just the 2 ofs. It can also kind of be like, you know, that extra push to get us into our disruptions, such as our 2 Darklight. This is great, still in tandem with our field spell. I don't know if we'll continue running this later on in, you know, the series, but it being a normal trap is nice, but I don't think its tribute effect comes up enough to maybe warrant continuing running it. However, we will continue to play Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This is just such a blowout against certain matches. Can just wipe a established board that maybe has like set spell or traps. Can rip trap cards out of opponent's hand. Just totally demoralizing card. And finally, we're running the 2 Lost Winds. This is to protect our Winda. So really, really love this card. So let's get into the extra deck. So the extra deck, we're running the 2 El Shaddoll Winda, 2 Apkalone, and the 2 Construct. These are kind of like our main Shaddolls that we want to be going into. Next, these are kind of just super poly targets more than anything. The El Shaddoll Shek, the El Shaddoll Aniatilius, not sure how to say that name, the 2 Wendigo, the Grista, and then the 2 Shaddoll Construct. Write your deck list correctly, kids. Yeah, so we'll probably keep this until we get some better link monsters, but it being able to just fusion summon from the hand or field is pretty handy. Can kind of get cards in graveyard for, you know, Pot of Avarice, things like that. So, you know, I like this extra deck for now. Can't wait to get something, you know, some better stuff, you know, for Super Poly. But yeah, eventually we'll be opening up, you know, better Super Poly targets. So let me get this out of the way. The side deck is, you know, it exists. I don't know how good it is right now, but we are running 2 Lava Golem. That's a good card. 2 Vanity's Fiend. This is kind of matchup dependent, but I do think that it's still worth running the 2. The extra Nail Shaddoll Aerial, just for, you know, graveyard-centric decks, having a second one of these is going to be huge. Its flip effect isn't too bad in combination with the Rest Shaddoll, so, you know, I like this. 2 Twin, 1 Unending Nightmare. This is for back row decks, floodgates, other field spells. We are running the 4 other card virus cards. These cards are kind of power crept by, you know, Eradicator in my mind. Like, we don't really want to let our opponent be sending cards from their deck to the graveyard too much, because a lot of decks are graveyard centric now. So, you know, these cards will probably get phased out of the deck. And then finally, we are running 3 Mind Crush, and this is to snipe cards out of the opponent's hand, you know, get that Lightning Storm out that's going to be coming down. So, you know, pretty good card for us. Also, if they search something, we can just snipe it out immediately. So, you know, that is going to be the deck that we're going to be going into the duels with this week. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to switch over to some duels, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, in match 1, game 1, looks like we're up against Numeron. They are going first. They will activate a Numeron wall through a Numeron network, sending the calling and getting into their S0. They set a card and pass to us. On our turn, they will activate S0. We won't be activating cards, so we'll summon the Lilith, set a card, and in the end phase, they will Storm Duster our set card. On their turn, they're going to go into attack position. We'll chain the Lilith to at least get a Lost Wind. This will help us a ton on our turn. For our draw phase, they will activate the S0. We can negate it with the Lost Wind. Now we can finally activate our Lair of Darkness, summon a Lilith, and then tribute their S0 for cost, setting a Sinister Shadow Games. We'll get in for 1,000 damage, pass them, and in the end phase, we can get a token. Now, on their turn, they will draw. We'll activate a Sinister Shadow Games. It gets Ash. They'll chain a Cosmic, banishing our Lair. Oof. Looks like this is going to be tough. They'll activate the network, sending a second calling, going for 1, 2, and 3 again. We'll activate the Lost Wind engraved, chaining the Lilith to avoid us actually taking game-losing damage here. Now we have 2 Lost Winds. This is going to be super, super helpful. They'll be able to step in for 4,000. We still have 2,000 left. They'll summon a Mega Clops in the end phase there. Now on our turn, we can activate the second Layer of Darkness, set 2, and in the end phase, nothing will happen. We have 4 set cards. This is looking pretty good. They'll activate the Mega Clops, will chain a Lost Wind. This will prevent them from taking our card. They'll step into the Squamata and we'll be able to pop this Mega Clops. This is looking pretty good here. We'll activate the Shaddoll, summoning the Squamata in defense position. Now on our turn, we will draw an Eradicator Epidemic Virus, summon Squamata, and get in for 1800. We'll set the Eradicator and the Aerial, passing it back to them. On their turn, they draw a Droplet for turn, just ending their turn right there. Nothing to activate. On our turn, we can flip the Aerial and get in for another 1,000 points of damage. Can't get the Aerial effect, unfortunately, but we will set the Sinister Shadow Games. On their turn, they will set their Ash. That was the wrong move, buddy. We can activate the Sinister Shadow Games, the Windy Engrave, and then flip our Squamata. This is very important for our turn. Now, on our turn, we can flip this Squamata and then target their face down, popping it, summon the beast, draw 2, and that looks like they will concede to that. On to game 2, they will be starting out again. They'll activate the network, sending the calling, and summoning their 1, 2, and 3. They'll activate Memories of Hope, drawing 3 cards. Wow, they'll end with an S0, set 2, pass back to us. 0 in the standby. We can set 4. One of these is a bait card here. They'll activate Terraforming on their turn, go for a Neos Fusion, to which we will chain the Super Poly. This is going to be very important, getting us our Construct and building our chain links here. We can use the Construct to send Shaddoll and then chain the Shaddoll. It is a trap to flip our beast, getting us 2 draw and a discard. We'll discard the Shadow Games. It's not really going to help us. They'll flip summon their border. They'll activate 0. We can chain the Lost Wind. At least we'll be able to activate cards this turn. We can Foolish Burial here, and we will send the Diabolos. Then when we activate the Lilith and Layer of Darkness, we can summon the Diabolos from grave and step in over their border for 1,000 points of damage. In the main phase 2, we contribute the S0, looping a card out of their hand and ending our turn. They will activate a Ice Dragon's Prison here, hoping to wall up from some damage. We'll get 2 tokens in the end phase, passing it back to them. They'll draw and activate a Red Eyes Fusion for turn. Looks like it has 3,000 attack points. We can Eradicate or Epidemic Virus it, calling spell. They will chain the Droplet, and the Ice Dragon's Prison is revealed off their set, and they'll concede. On to game 2, we are up against Speedroid here. They will be going first, summoning a Marble to start their turn, searching for Takatomborg, summoning the Takatomborg. They will go into their Car Turbo, into the Link 2. The Link 2 will get them to their Terratop and Horsey Boy here. Terratop will search them another Car Turbo. They will summon that, going into a Start to Charge Warrior, drawing a card. They'll end their turn. However, they don't end on any interruptions that we can see, so we'll start our turn with a Shaddoll Fusion, getting a Construct and building our chain links. This is really important because the Shaddoll allows us to discard the Windy, to which we can chain the Windy as well as the Hedgehog, getting us a search. We'll activate the Shaddoll, hoping to draw a card. However, they have a Meister in hand, so we will activate now our Allure of Darkness, hoping to draw something better, banishing the Lilith. We'll step in for a little bit of damage, clearing their field. We'll just leave the Construct and Squamata on field, passing it back to them. They draw a Hand Trap for turn and surrender. On to game 2, they will be going first again, starting their turn off with a Marble, just like game 1. They'll go through pretty similar combo line. However, they'll summon the Duke this time. Going to their level 5, they'll summon the Car Turbo and summon a Crystal Wing. Using the level 5 and the Car Turbo from grave, they'll make a second Crystal Wing. How are we going to play past this? Starting our turn, we'll activate Allure of Darkness, hoping to draw something better. We'll activate our Shaddoll Fusion, summoning the Apkallone, negating one of the Crystal Wings. However, because of our chain links with Windy, they'll still be able to activate. We'll chain the Shaddoll Fusion to summon a Construct here, and when we activate Construct and the Apkallone Engrave, we will chain the Super Polymerization, sending our Wendigo. That way we can still have the Construct on field. Using Squamata and the Hedgehog, we'll search for a Windy and send a Dragon to pop their back row. Going into the battle phase, we'll crash over the
Crystal Ring there and end our turn. Now, we can actually use the Wendigo here to protect ourselves from battle with a special summon monster. This is pretty useful. They'll search for a Terror Top, summon the Terror Top, and then the marble that they searched off of that into the Takaton board, and then using that, they'll summon a Duke. From there, they'll go into their Link 2, sending a Synchro monster and build up into an Auroradon. This will get them 3 tokens, and they'll summon a level 5 from hand. They'll use its effect to make our attack 0. That won't do much, and they will use the Auroradon to pop our construct. We will add back our Shaddoll Fusion. This is going to be very handy for a follow-up turn. They'll go into a Shen, which will banish our cards. This is pretty unfortunate for us. However, we have drawn the layer off the top. We'll activate Shaddoll Fusion here, summoning the Apcalone, and we'll use that to negate the Shen, preventing our cards from being banished. From here, we will use this combo with the Rush Shaddoll and the Windy to flip our beast to draw 2 and discard 1. We'll discard the extra layer there, activating the layer, proceed to battle step, and do 400 points of damage, passing it back to them. They will draw a Ghost Bell off the top. They'll go into battle phase. However, we'll use our Wendigo protect our Apcalone here. We'll only take some damage. They'll end their turn, and in the end phase, we can activate Sinister Shadow Games. Just trying to thin our deck here. We've pretty much run out of Shaddolls. We draw a Dark Light for turn. We'll crash over their monster, set one, and pass back to them. They will draw a Horsey Boy off the top. They'll just go into battle phase. We'll use the Wendigo again, protecting ourselves, giving us another turn here. So off the top of our deck, we are going to draw a Lost Wind. This is great. We'll end our turn, and on their turn, they will draw another hand trap. They'll use the Charmer in hand to search a marble. However, they are locked into darks because of our field spell. We'll destroy their Shen with our effect. It looks like this is going to be the end of the game for them. We will draw set, go into battle phase, and it looks like they'll probably concede here. For the third and final match of the episode, we're up against Virtual World, piloted by Franklin from the channel. He has won the die roll and will be going first. He starts his turn with a Pot of Desires to draw 2 fresh cards, banishing 10 off the top of his deck. Must feel nice. He then will normal summon a Nyan Nyan, since he wasn't able to find a Virtual World Gate card. From here, he is going to activate a Virtual World Kirin, sending a spell and trap to his graveyard. Banishing the spell from grave, he nets a Search of Lulu from the deck. He's able to continue searching and synchro climbing here through his cards. First VFD will be coming down after all of these summons, to which he will be activating, and I believe he calls Light here. Pretty good move to evade hand traps. From here, he's going to go into a Cloud Castle, reviving his Shen in grave, and these 2 level 9s will make his second VFD. Wow, this is a board to beat, but luckily we don't play any monsters in our deck at all. Yeah, that was a joke. So he'll set 1 card. Wow, I wonder if that's a Chuche. He will start out his turn, or our turn, and we'll draw a card. He'll chain one of his VFDs, calling Light. This is a good move. He can still activate the other VFD to call a different attribute once he sees what we're playing, giving it a hard think. We're going to set 2 back row. I'm trying to see a way out of this board with just 5 structure decks. Setting a monster into the middle column and passing, he activates Chuche in the end phase. Franklin draws for turn, and in the standby phase, we will activate our first trap, Sinister Shadow Games. Hopefully this will get our play started. Oh, never mind. He has an Ash Blossom. Looks like we won't be getting to play whatsoever this game. He activates some of the little Virtual World guards in his hand and is able to climb to a field full of monsters. We will activate our first trap here, Dark Light, tributing the Squamata off the field to destroy all of the special summon monsters that he summoned this turn, but he still has the Shen in grave, and he will swing for game. On to match 2 versus Franklin. We will choose to go first after siding in some cards. Let's see what we do here. We will start our turn off with a Foolish Burial, which will be met with an Ash Blossom. Unfortunate. Then we will do our deck's ultimate move and set 3 back row as well as a face down monster. Passing it back to him, he'll draw a card off the top, and he will then start his turn with an unfortunate Harpy's Feather Duster. Man, can't catch a break. We'll chain the Sinister Shadow Games, which will also be met with an Ash Blossom. We just can't seem to activate any cards against this deck. This will blow our back row, and we only have a set monster. He will activate the gate card, activating a Chuche from deck. From here, he will pass back to us. Looks like he doesn't have much. We draw a card up the top, flip our Windy, activating its effect, to which he will chain a Gamma. Oh man, looks like he had a handful of hand traps here. We will simply just pass back to him as we can't do much. Draw a card up the top, activating the Lao Lao, sending a spell. This will get him in a search for Lulu, which he will start to synchro climb into his Shen Shen. From there, he is going to manipulate the level of Lao Lao to 9, and from there, he will turn those two monsters into a VFD. Using this, he hits us for 3k points of damage. Oh man, this is looking grim. We will set a monster and pass back to him. In the end phase, he'll activate the VFD, getting Shen Shen engraved, starting his turn with a Foolish Burial Goods, sending the new trap card. He will then summon the Shen Shen and proceed to battle phase. He will attack into our monster, which is a Hedgehog, which will get us a search for Shaddoll Fusion. From there, he'll hit us for another 3k points of damage. We're only on 2k life points here. On our turn, we'll activate the Shaddoll Fusion. He will chain the VFD, calling Dark. We will chain the Lost Wind, negating it. We will send our two monsters, a Chad Shaddoll included, summoning our Construct, and we will activate the Construct Chainlink 1 and Dragon Chainlink 2, popping the Chuche, to which he will chain, shuffling 2 back, and we'll pop our Construct. Our Construct will get destroyed and banished. We will set the Aerial off of the Shaddoll effect there, passing it back to him. He has the Lao Lao in hand here. We will activate the Eradicator Epidemic Virus, tributing his monster, not resolving the Lao Lao in hand. Using our aerial that he crashes into, we can summon the Construct that was banished. We will use the Construct effect to send Squamata and Beast, allowing us to draw a card. Hopefully we get something good. From there, he will banish the spell, pitching the Lao Lao and search a Lulu for next turn. On our turn, we will draw a card off of the top. Looks like a Twin Twisters. We will proceed to the battle phase, destroying the VFD. We will set the Twin Twister here and pass it back to him. On his turn, he draws a card. He will normal summon the Lulu, and he drew a Kieran off the top, sending the spell and trap. He will then be able to Synchro Climb, manipulating the level to a level 3, summoning his Synchro 6. He will then pop our card on the field using its effect and hit us for a game. Well, not a bad showing for episode 2 of Sealed Only. We were able to beat a Numeron Dragoon deck using our Eradicator to tribute his Dragoon for cost. Man, that was awesome. Lost Wind was definitely the MVP of all of our games. Being able to reset it just gives us a grind game and really saved us a few times. Against Virtual World, arguably one of the best decks of the current TCG formats, however, we weren't able to secure a single game against him in the match. The Harpies in that last game really hurt my soul, man. This leaves us now on a 5-1 match record and a 10-2 game record, just when our win streak seemed unstoppable. Our deck can definitely generate some advantage and make some strong comebacks, but I'm still learning the Shaddolls and how to play them, so don't hate me if I'm not using them perfectly. This makes me feel like we need some hard negations in our deck to prevent cards like Harpies, so we're on the hunt for some solemn judgments, meaning in the next episode we'll be opening up some Secret Slayers. This has the next portion of our pile deck as well in the Eldritch engine, and it really has the grind game we're looking for, so let's start mining for some gold here, boys.